Hello, welcome to TeaFairy Storytime. Today I have two lovely books by two different authors. And our theme today is butterflies and flowers. The first book is The Bee and the Butterfly by author Cassandra Noel Hetzel and illustrated by Betsy, Marks, Delany. And we actually have the author here to read her book today. How exciting is that? She also made me this lovely butterfly. Look at it, it's a little stuffy. It's just made out of fabric, and she just sews a pattern and stuffs it with stuffing. It's super cute. I like it very much. My other author wrote a book called Planting Dreams, and her name is R.L. Walker. And she is a teacher and a mother of two twins. And so she dedicated this book to her twins. And I believe that she has another book that just came out recently. So that is our second book. We're going to start with show and tell, and then we'll move on to our stories. Are you ready? I am. Okay, so for show and tell, I have this lovely dried butterfly. Can you see it? Somebody caught this, or maybe found it when it was dead, hopefully. And then they put it on this piece of paper and put it in a frame. And I got it at a yard sale. I think it cost me 25 cents. But I just thought it was so beautiful. Look at its little wings. It reminds me of my mama. And then the other show and tell that I have is this little lantern that my friend made for me. And when you open it up, there's a little fairy with stained glass wings inside, and moss, and stones, and little glass rocks, and this cool little lamp. Whoops. Let me see if I can turn the lamp on. It's got a little red light in it, so at nighttime it's like a little night light, and it looks like she's sitting next to a campfire. Oh, there it goes. It's turning green. Now it's blue. Wonder what other colors will turn. Ready? Pink and red. That's pretty much it, I think. Isn't she beautiful? She looks kind of like a butterfly. She has wings like me. See my wings? I have wings too. Do you have wings? You don't? Oh, you do. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're going to start with The Bee and the Butterfly. And here is author Cassandra Hetzel.
Hi everyone, I'm Cassandra Noel Hetzel. I wrote this book, The Bee and the Butterfly. It's about butterflies, but it's also about self-esteem. And I'm going to be reading it to you today. And I brought some of my butterfly friends, which I made. This one is protected with a mask. Isn't that cute? Okay. I will start off with the book. Also, I want to give the illustrator a shout out, Betsy, Marks, Delany. She is also a Greenbelter. The Bee and the Butterfly by Cassandra Noel Hetzel, illustrated by Betsy, Marks, Delany. There was once a beautiful place deep within the forest. This world was filled with happiness and magical creatures. In the forest, there was one creature that was very different. Her name was Butter. She was a sweet little butterfly. What made her so special was that she had polka dots. Butter didn't like her polka dots. She was the only one in her family and the whole forest who had them. Butter felt very sad and all alone. Why do I have polka dots? She thought to herself, I only wish I was like all the other butterflies. That way I could make some friends. One day, Butter was flying through the forest. She wasn't looking where she was going and ran into a tree. As she fell to the ground, Butter started to cry. She cried so much that she made a puddle full of tears. Butter just stood there and looked at herself in the puddle. She was so sad, she cried herself to sleep. Boo-hoo. When Butter finally woke up, it was the next morning. The sun was shining through the trees and the wind blew gently. The puddle from her tears had gotten smaller. She took one last look into the puddle. Suddenly, Butter saw a sparkling light. As she blinked her eyes, a fairy appeared. Butter looked up at the fairy. Butter said, "Where did you come from?" The fairy replied, "I live in this forest, and I heard you crying. By the time I found you, you had fallen asleep." "Oh," said Butter, surprised. The fairy smiled. "Yes, Butter, I wanted to know why you were crying." Butter replied, "I don't have any friends because of my polka dots. I feel so sad and all alone." "Well, I have a surprise for you," said the fairy. She gave Butter a bow. The bow was big and pink. It was so big that the bow hid all of her polka dots, or so she thought. "Thank you very much," Butter told the fairy. Butter smiled happily. She was very excited and wanted to show her family and everyone in the forest what the fairy had given to her. Butter put the bow on and flew through the forest so fast and high that she didn't realize her bow fell off. The bow dropped into a muddy puddle. When she arrived, Butter happily told everyone she found, "Hey, look at me! Look what I have! The fairy gave it to me!" She still didn't know the bow was gone. Butter's family smiled and everyone in the forest cheered, celebrating her happiness. Because she was finally happy and proud of who she was. From that day on, Butter started making friends. The next day, Butter and her friends wandered back into the forest. They were playing hide-and-go-seek. All of a sudden, Butter's friend Squirrel stepped into a puddle. Squirrel said, "Hey everyone, come here and look what I found." Butter and the others came running. "What is it? What is it?" they said. "I found a dirty, muddy pink bow." "I wonder where it came from," said Squirrel. Butter was the last one to arrive at the muddy puddle. As she looked down, Butter was surprised to see what was there. "Oh my," said Butter, "that's my bow." "I don't understand," said Squirrel. "The fairy gave me a bow," replied Butter. "I thought I was wearing the bow all this time." Snail, another one of Butterfly's friends, said, "Why would you want to hide your beautiful polka dot?" "I just want to be like everyone else," Butter replied. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the fairy appeared. "Hi, Butter," said the fairy. "How are you?" Butter slowly looked up at the fairy and said, "I'm okay. I'm just a little confused. You see, I thought I was wearing my bow the whole time." "Well," said the fairy, "it looks like you didn't need the bow at all. Your friends and family love you just the way you are." Butter turned to look at the puddle with the bow in it. The bow was muddy and dirty. The pink color had faded. Then she looked at her bright purple polka dots. Butter said, "Fairy, you're right. I didn't need the bow at all." Butter's friends went to her and said, "We love your polka dot. We all thought you were talking about your polka dots when you said, 'Look at me, look what I have.'" Butter looked at her family and friends. She said, "That bow helped me find courage I didn't know I had. I'm so glad that it fell off." From that day on, Butter was always happy and thought of herself as special. She learned that everyone in the forest loved her for who she was. Butter didn't need a bow or anything else to make friends. The end. So, butterflies are beautiful and special, and the moral of the story is to always love yourself for who you are. And Butter definitely learned that lesson with the help of the fairy and her friends. If you're looking for the book can be at the co-op or at Amazon.com. The polka dots on Butter actually was inspired by my polka dots on myself, which are freckles. And I didn't actually like my freckles as a child, but all of my other friends that didn't have them thought they were beautiful. And so that's what gave me the idea and the inspiration to come up with the story, The Bow and the Butterfly. So the reason I made these to go with the book is because children often do have anxiety with sitting still. So they can hold their own little butter, which I made in different patterns because every child, like Butterfly, is unique. So they can hold their butter, they can throw in the air, they can have it fly around, and all while they're hearing the story. And it's really fun to make these too. So you can get the book and the butterfly together in a safe bag at a College Park farmer's market. That's where I often go. Hello everyone, I'm going to do a craft with you. So I'm going to show you the materials. Gotta say this one's my favorite, but this one's like more open and fun too. So you can put it everywhere, put some dots, however you want to do it, cover it all up, and decorate. And I'm gonna put like here too, because I'm gonna decorate that. I mean, you can even color it if you want to color it first, so there's no white spots, that's fine. Or you can just cover it all with fabric. Fun fabric. So whenever you use fabric for a project, it's always fun to save it because you can thing with scraps of fabric. So let's see if you want pink or any kind. I mean, if you're really dedicated, it'll take some time, and you can make it really, really colorful. Any kind of design or pattern that you like, and it's very simple for kids of all ages. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be their own special butter. And you can also make a bow to go with. But this is a good activity to keep kids busy, especially, if they really like to use their hands and they like to fidget. And it also helps, eye-hand coordination. It might be easier, instead of like digging through the small container, just put a pile out like that, spread it out. Kids like to make messes, but with fabric, nothing's sticky, and it doesn't really get everywhere. It stays in a little pile. If you want sparkly, even though it's white, it can be sparkly. This is the project, and very simple to do. I've done it with many kids. I think I've left my butterfly with them because they always want to keep it. Oh, Cassandra, we love your butterfly. Let's keep it so she can play with the others. So yeah, and there's tons of fabrics because I make butterfly stuffies, and then I stuff them. So of course I got lots of scraps. Green. So this is the end result. I paused it to take about 5 to 10 minutes to try to cover most of the butterfly, and you can have your own butterfly. So thank you so much for watching, and back to the wonderful TeaFairy. All right, good day, bye. And thank you so much for listening, and now back to the TeaFairy.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Next up, we have a short video of how to plant a seed and watch it grow. You ready? I am. Welcome back. Did you guys like that? It was good, huh? You guys should plant some seeds and start some pretty flowers yourselves. Or maybe some vegetables. I like to grow sprouts. What do you like to grow? Really? Ooh, that sounds fun. What about sunflowers? I love sunflowers. I love how tall they get. They're so beautiful. Some of them are even taller than me. All right, the next book is called Planting Dreams, and that's why we watched the video about planting seeds, so that we could learn about the process of planting seeds. Planting Dreams by R.L. Walker, illustrated by Neal Parks. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. Audrey Hepburn. She was a famous actress. To all of those who love to garden, and most especially my grandparents, parents, and my children. That's a nice dedication. Look at all the lovely flowers in the park, and so many butterflies and bees, exclaimed Amelia as her friends nodded in agreement. Oliver responded, flowers are the bees' knees. They provide food for them, and the pollinators in return help the plants thrive. Like how your lunch helps us survive, Alex said. All the friends looked thoughtfully, and Amelia chimed, let's help feed the bees and make our own beautiful, colorful garden. The twins couldn't wait to explain their plan to their family. Mom, we're going to feed the butterflies and bees, but we need help planting the seeds, Alexander explained. By all means, please share your dream, their grandmother replied. They put their heads together. We want to make a garden full of flowers. Our friends Oliver told us that sunflowers and poppies are very helpful. While looking at different seed packets with their grandparents, Amelia pointed towards some poppy seeds while Alex was looking at other varieties of sunflowers. See, there's the sunflowers, there's the poppy seeds. Alex held out cheerful yellow sunflowers, aromatic lavender, and milkweed that he took from the seed tower. Great choices. These will look and smell lovely, their grandmother replied. And Alex, the zinnias and cornflowers are beautiful additions, and the sage, rosemary, and mint are great herbs as well. Their mom showed them how to plant the seeds in the dirt, making sure that they were not too deep or not too shallow. These flowers need lots of sun. That is why we chose this plot away from the tree shadows. Remember to follow the directions on the back of the package, their mother encouraged. Each one used their hand trowel to plant their rows of beautiful colored flowers. Alex said, remember, seeds like moist soil, so we need to water them and the seedlings until they are big enough and the roots can reach deeper water. Whether it has rained or not, the best way to check to see if your plants need water is to check the soil. If it is muddy, you watered too much. If it is damp, you're good for the day. And if the soil is dry, like sand, you need to give it a good drink. Ooh, this picture's neat. Look. What is that? Do you know what that is? Let's find out. Look, there's a bumblebee. I know a bumblebee. Alex asked, did you know that bees and other pollinators are responsible for pollinating over 900% of the world's food and that they are dying off in large numbers? Yes, replied their dad. That is why we have planted all the flowers and started a new hive here. A queen bee can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day, but not all survive to adulthood. So, one new hive can make a huge difference, and it's important to not knock down a hive. If the bees are a bother, then let local beekeepers relocate them to a place that they can survive and thrive. The bees help us by pollinating our fruit trees and vegetables and provide us with the delicious honey, Amelia exclaimed. So that's what he is. He's a beekeeper, and they've got, the hive is here, and they take out these trays of honey and beeswax. And this is a smoke machine to make the bees leave the hive for a little while so that they can collect the honey. Oliver exclaimed, wow, you guys really did it. Your backyard looks even better than the park with all the different flowers, butterflies and bees, and you can see it any time. Was it hard work? Not really. The hardest part was deciding which seeds we wanted to plant because I wanted to do all of them. We spent a day planting them, a few days watering the plants, and now we just get to enjoy them, Amelia responded. Leah replied, plus look at how many pollinators you helped feed. Maybe I will ask my parents if I can do a small pollinator garden too. Dad loves not mowing this area. If you need to bribe him, and your mom will love all the fresh flowers, Alex giggled. Amelia and Alexander have cut some lavender, sunflowers, and brilliant red poppies, making baskets of bouquets. Grandma's going to love these. They will add some cheer to her kitchen counter and brighten her day. We should not delay. Both run off carrying rainbows in their arms. Let's harvest some. We will have bee safety issues. We will have bee safety suits. Even fairies make mistakes when they're reading. So we don't get stung, and I'm using a smoker to keep them from smelling danger and keeping them calm. Then I can collect the honey without upsetting and harming the bees, Dad explained. Wow, this is amazing. So much yummy honey. I can't wait to put this on Grandma's biscuits and all kinds of baked goods. Leah looked curious and asked, what can we make with dried flower petals? Oh, all kinds of things. We can glue the petals on paper and make our own bouquets that can last all winter. Or put them on the outside of candles. Put them in bags to make the house smell nice. Put fresh ones on cakes and cook them in other foods, Amelia said as the group worked on some flower crafts. Now that the sunflowers had their time in the sun, laughed their dad, here is a tip. We can pick the dead flowers and roast the seeds to make a delicious snack. Their mom laughed at the joke and helped them get things ready to bake. After they finished roasting them in the oven, they all got to try some. These will be great for baseball games and hiking trips. Don't forget to save some seeds from each plant that you like so that you can plant them again next year, their grandma exclaimed. What about all the other seeds? Asked Amelia. Grandma looked through, thoughtful, and replied, you can either harvest them and give them to the birds this winter, or let them dry on the plant and let Mother Nature take its course. If you wait till it's snowing, you can see them better. But either way, leaving some seeds for the birds is quite helpful indeed. And then for you teachers out there, there is a lesson plan that goes along with this book. And for everybody, there's recipes for roasted sunflower seeds, biscuits, and dry flowers. And I have some items to show you that involve using dried flowers. Are you ready? I am.
Hello, I'm Bea the Bee, and I'm going to share with you some beautiful flower show and tell today. So here I have some potpourri. Potpourri is so fun. It smells beautiful and has lots of fun different colors, like some roses. I don't know what this blue one is, but it's lovely. And some seed pods. People use potpourri to make their house smell nice. Another way you can use things from your garden to make your house smell nice is by making sachets. This here is lavender. It's a beautiful purple color. Looks great in the garden when it's growing and smells great in a sachet. You can put it right in your drawers. Other things that we have for show and tell today, I have this beautiful ornament that TeaFairy showed me. She said her son gave it to her, and I just think it's so fun. See, it has a dried flower on this piece of wood. This would be a really fun art project. And then we have some other fun pieces of garden art crafts. This here is actually some sage and rosemary that TeaFairy grew in her own garden. Isn't that neat? And she took it and wrapped it and made this beautiful smudging stick. People use these different types of smudging sticks to freshen their homes. Some people use them in their different religious practices. They come in all different types. You can make them with lots of different herbs. This one uses bay leaves. I love bay leaves. I like to cook with them. They smell nice. And this here is actually one of my favorite herbs that grows. This is called sweetgrass, and it just smells lovely. And I love the way this stuff smells. You should smell it. And those are all of our flower-themed show and tell. Thank you for joining me for show and tell. I'm the Bee.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the purple
Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope that you enjoyed our bee and butterfly episode. It was nice to have my friend the bee here, Bea the Bee. She'll be back, and she'll be coming in as other things too, not just the bee. Isn't that exciting? A new friend. Bye, guys.